Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
I didn't think, I just did.
Quick thinking on the part of a 15-year-old boy helped to ensure that everyone made it out safely during a fire and when it broke out in Wadena, Minnesota in an apartment on Friday.
Valley News Team's Katie Opperly caught up with a teenager, and tonight she has his story.
The smell of smoke still lingers in the apartment building where 15-year-old Ian Hardy lives.
One of them ran down here and banged on the door, said there's a fire.
A fire had started in his neighbor's home, but instead of thinking of his own safety, Ian sprang into action.
I ran out, ripped the fire extinguisher out of the wall thing, and ran into the room.
Not only did he ensure that the family living in the apartment made it out safely, but he fought back the flames using a fire extinguisher. Ian says he wasn't thinking. He just knew he needed to control the fire and keep everyone safe.
Like, I feel surprised that I did it, and, you know, I feel happy that they're okay.
Ian's mom witnessed the whole thing, and she says she's incredibly proud of her son.
Altogether, there's 14 people living in, you know, these four apartments. And this apartment building is so old, and it was right next door. It could have took down the whole thing, the whole building.
And that's not the only good thing to come out of this situation. Ian says he now knows what he wants to be when he gets older.
Since that night, he's been talking about being a firefighter. That's what he wants to be.
He hopes to continue helping others and making a difference. In Wadena, Katie Opperly, Valley News Live.
Emergency crews arrived on scene shortly after and took over the situation. The cause of the fire is believed to be from someone misusing a lighter. No one was injured.
The search continues tonight for the person responsible for multiple homicides in Mandan, North Dakota. 4 bodies were found in a business this morning, 3 men and a woman at RJR Maintenance and Management. Their names have not been released, as well as their cause of death. However, Mandan's police chief says the deaths are not the result of a murder-suicide.
You see something that's suspicious or you heard something or there's anything whatsoever, please contact the police department and let us follow that up, please.
Police say this is an isolated incident. The company is a business in a business district about 100 yards back from a busy main road in Mandan known as the Strip.
A man wanted for 2 separate Moorhead robberies sits behind bars tonight after being on the loose for over a month. We first brought you the arrest of 21-year-old Bilal Shahid on Friday, who had a warrant out in Moorhead.
But Shahid isn't the only suspect who police want to find. Valley News Team's Melanie Palmer joins us in the studio to explain where other high-profile robberies stand. Melanie?
Andrea, Mike, this case with Shahid happened back in February when these court documents say it was a drug deal gone wrong. They claim Shahid hopped into someone's car at an apartment complex on 20th Street South in Moorhead and allegedly robbed the people inside at gunpoint, taking money and an iPhone. Documents say the 2 victims were meeting Shahid to sell marijuana to him, but he got away and was wanted for over a month. And this isn't the first armed robbery he's been accused of in Moorhead. Back in 2015, court records say he robbed a Little Caesars too. Now, Shahid is set to be in court soon for those charges, but there are several other armed robberies in the FM area that have yet to be solved. One of those involved a massive police presence near 36th Avenue South just 2 weeks ago. In that case, a man says he was robbed at gunpoint after offering a stranger a ride. Not to mention the case involving the man who robbed Alaris Financial in Fargo while wearing a red graduation gown just a week before. The teller there says the culprit told them, "Give me money or I'll shoot." Fargo police tell us they're still investigating that case and have no details at this time. Mike?
Thanks, Melanie. Shahid is facing 2 charges of aggravated robbery. Both are felonies that include a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison.
Fargo residents received some good news today as the Red River is expected to crest lower than they thought. North Fargo residents gathered at the Fargo Dome tonight to learn more on how the most recent flood forecast numbers will impact their neighborhoods. Rather than the expected 41-foot flood crest, the forecast now expects it to be about 6 feet lower at 35 feet.
When the height was 41 feet, people were very concerned. Now our latest estimate is around 35 feet, so that's much easier to protect, and we don't have to do as much in the neighborhoods. So I think they're coming out tonight to hear good news.
Looks like we may not need any sandbags at these lower levels, and just some isolated areas of emergency levees getting constructed through town.
Officials say they are no longer looking for sandbagging volunteers, and the unneeded bags will be put into storage. Southside residents will get their chance to talk with city officials tomorrow.
Residents in Dickey County say commuting is already tough because of flooding. Multiple roads are closed due to high water. A spokesperson for the county's emergency management is warning people in the area to be careful, adding that water-filled roadways can be dangerous for you and others.
Our crew's out right now trying to find danger zones. Closed roads have to be closed, but you can't close everything. You know, we still have to be able to get fire trucks and ambulances to people's houses. It becomes a real nightmare at times.
Russell adds farmers and ranchers should remove any hay or farm equipment from the river basin. Doing so now will mean less of a mess to clean up later.
While some have headaches from the melting snow, others are basking in it. A Valley News Team reporter caught some geese enjoying massive puddles in this parking lot in West Fargo, located off 45th Street South behind Smiling Moose, Rocky Mountain Deli, and Five Guys. One employee says the same geese are chasing her in and out of work.
They're very protective of their nesting right now, so they'll try to come and nip at you if you get too close to them.
She's also warning other customers coming in and out of the stores to be mindful of their surroundings.
Democratic presidential candidate Amy Klobuchar has released 12 years of tax returns, saying transparency and accountability are fundamental to good governance. The tax returns date back to 2006, when she first became a candidate for federal office. Klobuchar and her husband paid nearly $63,000 in federal taxes on an adjusted gross income of more than $292,000 in 2017. Democrats have criticized President Donald Trump for refusing to disclose his tax returns.
The Minnesota Senate passed legislation today forcing drug companies to help pay for the costs of responding to the opioid epidemic. Senators approved the bill 59-6. It's the second bill in the nation that would require opioid companies to foot part of the bill for the ongoing nationwide crisis. The bill would sharply raise the annual registration fees for pharmaceutical manufacturers and drug wholesalers that sell or distribute opioids in Minnesota.
More North Dakota parents are exempting their children from vaccines. The state's health department says personal belief exemptions rose nearly 1% last year. The result is roughly 400 kids who are exempt from vaccination requirements. Experts say the increase is attributed to false information that spread online. The vaccine exemption rate in North Dakota has more than tripled since the 2007-2008 school year.
A 6-year-old girl has died from her injuries after falling from a cliff at Falling Rock in South Dakota. It happened Sunday afternoon around noon west of Rapid City. Investigators say it was an accident. Numerous first responders and emergency crews were helping near the popular hiking and climbing area off of Highway 44. Authorities have not yet released the girl's name, and the incident still is under investigation. Several people have died at Falling Rock over the years, including a 5-year-old boy in 2005 and a 39-year-old woman in 2014.
The World Wildlife Foundation is sounding the alarm over garbage in the Mediterranean Sea after a sperm whale measuring over 26 feet was found dead off of Sardinia with nearly 50,000 pounds of plastic in its belly. The environmental organization says that the garbage recovered in the sperm whale's stomach included a tube for electrical works, plastic plates, shopping bags, tangled fishing lines, and a washing detergent package with the brand and barcode still legible. The WWF says plastic is one of the greatest threats to marine life and has killed at least 5 other whales around the world in the last 2 years.